Greetings, debaucherers. I am back from my vacation, wedding, honeymoon, whatever you may call it, and in the lovely confines of my radio studio once again. Ghost Rider has had a long weekend. No, not alcohol consumption related, well, at least this time. He has earned a well-deserved week off after the hellish weekend that he faced. I was told it had something to do with an old lady, her refusing to stop, and the two of them getting absolutely fucked. You know, it's probably way less horny than I'm making it out to be, and who am I kidding? Yes, it is. But I do have a horny quota to meet in these damn recaps, so that's exactly what my promise is to you. I digress. Ghost Rider had the week off. You have me. Here's your recap, you dipshits. Starting us off was all that Yaz versus Dinger Swingers. New guy Kyle faces the studly, handsome, fantastic Alex. Who wrote that? Me? For the first time. It was a tale of two games for this one. Kyle's pitching staff was the better of the two, as he had better production from his staff all week. However, the veteran Tasker had a trick up his sleeve. Lucas Giolito received a COVID designation on Friday, so Tasker was able to put him in an IL slot. Tasker then used the free roster spot to re-add Hunter Green, who pitched lights out for 7 1/3 on Sunday, with just enough strikeouts to nab the strikeout category for the Yazzie boy. Side note, did anyone see the box score to the Cincinnati game on Sunday? The Reds lost to the Pirates 1-0 despite throwing a no-hitter against the team. Green walked 2 to start the 8th, was then pulled, the reliever walked another one, and the batter after him grounded into a fielder's choice to bring home 1 run. No hits. The Reds couldn't answer in the top of the 9th, and the Pirates are the home team, so boom, the wackiest stat line of the year so far. I digress. The two tied on solds, and Tasker swept the hitting categories with 10 bombs, 31 runs, 6 bags to win the matchup 6-3.
It's bye-bye, baby.
Next up was the sagging boobs in the outfield versus Drive Monkey Drive. Sagging, why, you may ask? Well, she entered this week 13th, and sagging, yes, I have a quota here to meet people with horny jokes. The Sunday scaries were in effect as Jimmy's team had the lead entering play. What can only be described as shenanigans were afoot, as Sierra buoyed her way to the lead, with Jimmy just able to nip her at the end to tie the matchup. Okay, I get it. I think I'm trying too hard to come up with boob jokes here, but the weight of this recap is starting to get to me. It's quite the hefty task. Boom! 2 more. Quota met. Sierra's Vlad Jr. did little at the plate this week with no dingers. In fact, her best hitter was a guy named Taylor Ward, and of course he's a fucking angel. But he has a girly name, so his accomplishment is diminished. Meanwhile, Jimmy's Mike Trout raked, and Razor Ramon Laureano is back from his drug suspension. Mazel tov. They share the spoils 4-4. Following that up, we have the beer bitch, Dr. Hoptologist, versus Pat's 72-74 A's. You may think the language is a bit strong, but so is the beer that Albert drinks, so it's a wash. Never mind that, though. For the third time in 3 weeks, folks, it could be a record. Prepare yourself. We have yet another cripple fight! Time! In one corner, we have Albert, the destroyer of the dark stuff, the prince of Pilsner, the slightly gay for IPAs, the guy whose soccer team only tied versus West Ham because of an own goal and can still lose the title to Liverpool in a botched job of the century, Dr. Hoptologist, versus... Honestly, I think you've heard enough intros for Pat in these things. You kind of know who he is. 72-74 A's. This is his third straight bout in the ring of physical challenges. I can't call it the cripple ring. HR gets mad at me. Yes, Sabermetric Debauchery does have an HR department. Apparently their phone just must have been off for the last 3 years. Otherwise, we would have been shut down years ago. Hoppy's Shohei Ohtani made the most noise this week as he scored 6 times, hit 4 bombs, and had 10 RBIs and a stolen bag. All in a week's work, I suppose. He also got great pitching from Martin Perez, who gave him 2 quality starts. Hey, show of hands. How many of you knew of Martin Perez before the year? And how many of you know he's on the Rangers? Yeah, that makes 1 of you. For Pat, Jorge Soler had a decent week with 2 jacks, 2 ribbies, and 3 runs. Jose Quintana had a solid week for Pat as well with the 2 quality starts. However, it wasn't quite enough to fight off the Hoptologist, who wins the bout 6-4. Ring the bell! That's 3 straight losses for Pat in cripple fights. Pretty soon, he could be taking the short bus back home. You know what? That's low, even for me. See what happens when Ghosty takes a week off? I start feeling bad about myself and the jokes I tell. First place, the Wander Years, took on 10th place Fukin in our next matchup. The first month of the year has ended and the offense has stalled out. You may think to yourself, am I talking about the Mets? No, I'm talking about Scott's team here, as he could only amass 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, and no stolen bags. For Devin, Rafael Devers has heated up. 6 runs, 2 jacks, and 8 RBIs were enough to lead the way for his team. And while he may have lost on quality starts to Scott this week, his team happened to beat him on whip by less than 0.01. Oof. He nabs solds and strikeouts, and it's enough for a 7-3 victory to keep the hot streak rolling for the new guy. It's also good enough for the Trevor Bauer beatdown of the week. Let's keep this train rolling with Rick's High and Tight versus Frankie's Spanky BBs. For the Spank Man, hold on, that meant something way worse in my mind. For Charlie, his pitching channeled Mac Dre and did it for the Bay because he went absolutely nitro for 79 strikeouts. Frankie Montas and Nestor Cortez each had double-digit strikeout days, with Cortez delivering a .59 ERA and .52 whip for 2 quality starts. Rick's Paul Blackburn matched the outings by Cortez, but he sounds like a generic created player on MLB's video game, so no one really noticed. Oh, look, he plays for the Oakland A's. That's why no one noticed. Woo! Figured out a way to put an attendance joke in the recaps. Take that. Charlie takes 4 hitting categories to win the matchup, though, 6-4. Next up, Dylan's Rock the Vote takes on Andrew, and you don't score until you score baseball.
What exactly does third base feel like?
Did I have trouble typing out his name for this recap? Maybe. Almost absolutely. Both teams ended with no solds on the week and 4 quality starts. Yay, friendship. Dylan rides the hot bat of the most stupid first name in history, Rhys Hoskins, and his 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. His doppelganger, seriously people, look it up, Chris Taylor had a week even if the Phillies made the Dodgers look silly. Hey, side note, has anyone seen the video of the 2 Dodger fans throwing nachos at each other this week when they were getting spanked by the Phillies? It's great. The second they start looking human, their fans, air quote, loose term there, start fighting each other. They're just a poverty franchise with a Gucci wardrobe.
Yes! Yes!
I digress. Andrew's offense was like a cat on the window in the afternoon, lazy, unbothered, and with little or no motivation to get anything started. Wait, is that a cat or me on Saturdays? Yeah. Dylan takes 4 of 5 offensive categories and just barely nabs whip to take a 5-3 win. Our final matchup this week pins Samantha in 108 stitches versus Dom and ... Dom's Kyle Schwarber made out like the Clinton family and continued to murder baseballs like they're Jeffrey Epstein. Woof. Sorry about that simile. Matt Carlock left his QAnon brochure out again. The player that stands out for Period United was Robbie Ray, whose 2 starts nabbed Dom 19 strikeouts but no quality starts. For Sam, Gene Segura matched with 3 dongers, 7 jacks, and 9 runs scored. Brandon Woodruff had 2 outings, 12 strikeouts, but he couldn't get the ERA in order, so no quality starts for you, Roughwood. A mixed bag, and Dom wins the matchup 5-3.
Thanks, Obama.
For those who have stuck around, congratulations, you finally made it to award time. The Jose Royd Seiko Award this week goes to Dylan and Rock the Vote. All but 2 of his players hit home runs this week. Good Lord. 14 bombs total. Congrats, sir.
Hadouken!
The Oakland Liquor Store Award this week goes to Andrew and Samantha, who both nabbed 7 bags this week. Kind of a Bonnie and Clyde thing going on there. Me gusta.
Heineken, fuck that shit!
Dominatrix of the week goes to Devin and the Wander Years with the .95 ERA. Props to Scott for the .96 whip, but to the winners go the leather. Smack 'em!
What color is my underwear?
Brazer's choke of the week goes to Samantha and 108 stitches. It almost went to Jimmy, but he ended up tying, so she was the only one who lost to a lower seed. She was the 9th seed, and she lost to a 10th seed. I'm sorry. Look out teeth, look out gums, look out throat, because here he... Never mind.
What are you doing, step bro?
Last but certainly not least, the Debauchery of the week goes to Charlie and Frankie's Spanky BBs. On Sunday, he and I went golfing. His golf game may be cheeks, but at least he can play fantasy sports. Congrats, sir. Whew. That's going to do it from me. I need a drink. Thankfully, I brought some tequila back from Mexico. Ghosty should be back soon. Until then, remember to call your grandma, tell her I said hi, and don't forget to floss. Voice Guy out!